Hello and welcome to the Daily Roundup. I am Sumedha.
And I am Prashant, and here are the major stories for the day.
Sedition case against 49 signatories of letter to Modi withdrawn. Modi government is ready to invite bids once again for the Air India sale. This fiscal, Assam has only 2,850 Manrega beneficiaries in 6 districts. In our international section, we talk about Turkey, which has begun the invasion of northeast Syria. And Mining Council in Peru has also begun hearing appeals against the Tia Maria project. For our first story, we're speaking about the sedition case. The Bihar police has closed the sedition case against 49 prominent artists, activists and intellectuals for writing a letter to the Prime Minister protesting mob lynching. NDTV quoted the police as saying that a case would be instead registered against the petitioner Sudhir Ojha for filing frivolous complaints. This follows the massive outrage in cultural and political circles at the filing of the FIR last week. Eminent artists, intellectuals, and filmmakers in the country, which include Adur Gopalkrishnan, Shyam Benegal, Shubha Mudgal, Ramchandra Guha, and Aparna Sen, were named in an FIR, which was filed as per the order of the Chief Judicial Magistrate of Muzaffarpur. The 49 eminent citizens, in a letter written in July, had called on the Prime Minister to ensure that mob lynching for Muslims, Dalits, and other minorities be stopped immediately. They had also called for respecting dissent and pointed out, and I quote, criticizing the ruling party does not imply criticizing the nation. Following Sudhir Ojha's complaint and the filing of the FIR, many more spoke about the suppression of dissent in the country. An open letter endorsing the earlier one was signed by more than 1,000 of writers, artists and intellectuals across the country and was released in multiple languages. Meanwhile, in Kerala, the members of the Students' Federation of India and the Democratic Youth Federation of India had also sent at least 1.5 lakh copies of the original letter to the Prime Minister. Moving on, according to the reports from the Jehanabad district headquarters, situated at a distance of about 50 kilometers from Patna, taking communal tension into consideration, the entire district has now been sealed and all police stations have also been alerted. Violent clashes took place in Jehanabad on Wednesday night between two communities when some people allegedly pelted stones at a Durga idol during the immersion procession. Angry over it, hundreds of people gathered at different places after the news spread, and they also pelted stones at people belonging to the other community. They also attacked a religious place, some shops, and reportedly set ablaze a few shops. Half a dozen people, including the police officials, were reportedly injured during the violent clashes that took place in Jehanabad. Jehanabad District Magistrate Naveen Kumar told NewsClick that the situation is now under control and administration has appealed to the people to maintain peace and not pay heed to the rumors. He said, and I quote, some anti-social elements tried to create some tensions and we will not allow them to succeed. However, Kumar said no casualty was reported and there was no report of any fresh clashes from anywhere so far. He had said that the administration has invoked Section 144 as a preventive measure and warned of tough action against the troublemakers. Additional security forces have also been deployed and patrolling has been intensified. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has expressed concern over the situation in Jehanabad and has directed officials to take stern action against anti-social elements. He further appealed to the people and all political parties to help the government to ensure peace and social harmony in the town. And moving on with our roundup, once again the Narendra Modi government, which is now in its second term, is set to officially invite bids from private players to buy the indebted national carrier Air India by issuing the expression of interest. The document, which was released last year, had failed to gather even a single bidder. Of course, since the debacle last year, the government has tried to make the sale more attractive by now offering 100% stake in Air India against the 76% that was offered last time. The earlier offer bundle included 100% stake in AI subsidiary, which is the Air India Express Limited, and the government's 50% equity stake in Air India SATS Airport Services, a joint venture between AI and Singapore's SATS Limited. Now, these and other subsidiaries will be taken care of separately. According to news reports, the government is set to issue the EOIs by the end of this month or by the first week of November, so that the sale process can be completed within this fiscal itself. In fact, the Narendra Modi-led Bharatiya Janata Party government has been working overtime to clear the aisle for selling a bunch of public sector undertakings or PSUs, most of them healthy and profitable, as it rushes to meet the disinvestment target of about 1.05 trillion rupees. On September 30th, the government cleared the strategic sales in Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, which is the BPCL, the BEML Limited, which was previously the Bharat Earth Movers Limited, Container Corporation of India, which is Concor, and the Shipping Corporation of India, which is the SCI, the THDC, which is formerly known as the Tehri Hydro Development Corporation Limited, and the Northeastern Electric Power Corporation Limited, which is NEEPCO. The last two, which is the THDC and the NEEPCO, could be taken over by the straight-run NTPC. And for the second attempt to sell off Air India, one news report said that before issuing the expression of interest document, the government was planning to meet with potential buyers such as the Tata Group and also Interglobe Aviation, which already run airlines, as well as other interested corporates. We'll keep following that story. Moving on, the performance of the Bharatiya Janata Party-led Assam government on the centre's flagship rural government employment guarantee scheme, which is the Manrega, has been waning in terms of creating 100 days of employment in rural areas that are in a grip of agrarian distress. With only 5 months left for the fiscal of 2019 to end, only 2,850 households in Assam completed 100 days of guaranteed employment in 6 districts of the state, according to a report which was released in the Sentinel Assam. According to the data on the Rural Development website, as on October 9th, the average days of employment provided to each of the 34,837 households that applied for the rural jobs, there was a meager 24.8, way below the objective of 100 days. So essentially, this data indicates that the targets were not being met. The average wage which was paid per day was about 192 rupees only. Citing the ministry data, the report said of these 6 districts, the highest number, which is almost 50% of the households, were in Lakhimpur district, which was followed by only 654 household beneficiaries in Nalbari. The other districts that showed a dismal picture with respect to Manrega are as follows, which was in Jorhat, in Dima Hasao, where there were only 3 households, in Sivsagar and Nagaon, which had only 2 households getting the benefits. While there was no beneficiary in the other 4 districts of Kamrup, of South Salmar Mangchar, and Goalpara and Haika Kandi. And that's what the report had indicated. So extremely bad, of course, performance in terms of providing employment. And now we will be moving on to our international section with Prashant.
We begin with the Turkish army launching its invasion of northeastern Syria on October 9th. The Turks are targeting the Kurdish-dominated Syrian Democratic Forces who control the area. Over 100 combatants of the SDF and the armed group YPG have reportedly been killed. Prior to the invasion, Turkey had bombarded the SDF-held locations with heavy artillery and air raids on October 8th, leading to the death of 8 people, including 5 civilians. The invasion comes days after Donald Trump announced that US troops would withdraw from the region, giving the Turks a free hand. Turkey's invasion has raised concerns of a major human rights disaster. Since the beginning of the war in Syria in 2011, the oil-rich northeastern region of Syria has been controlled by the Kurdish fighters belonging to the YPG, or the People's Protection Unit. In 2015, the YPG was instrumental in forming the SDF, a broad alliance of secular forces, against the rising threat of the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. Turkey, which has a long history of repressing the Kurds, who have been fighting for a separate homeland, has been worried about the area controlled by the YPG and SDF. Until recently, the presence of the US forces had acted as a barrier to the Turkish efforts against the Kurds. The YPG is affiliated to the Kurdish Workers' Party PKK, which has been leading a popular movement inside the Kurdish-dominated regions in Turkey. Apart from attacking the SDF, Turkey is also looking at resettling a majority of the almost 3.6 million Syrian refugees currently residing inside its country. This includes anti-Syrian government fighters and their families. Such a move could cause massive displacement and be a source of intense conflict. In our next story, on October 7th, the Peruvian Mining Council of the Ministry of Energy and Mines, MINEM, held a public hearing on 3 appeals against the issuing of license to the Mexican mining company Southern Copper Corporation SCC. The SCC's proposal to begin work on the Tia Maria copper mining project in the Tambo Valley in the Islay province has long been resisted by residents. The Mining Council is the administrative body that resolves issues in the sector in the country. Over 100 protesters from the Tambo Valley came to the capital Lima and peacefully demonstrated outside the headquarters of MINEM in support of their representatives. The petitions pointed out that the project would have grave ecological implications. Since July 15, thousands of farmers and inhabitants of the Tambo Valley have been striking against the decision made by the government. In addition, since August 5th, the agricultural, educational and civil construction workers of the region have been striking in solidarity with the inhabitants of the valley. And in our last story, forces loyal to the Southern Transitional Council claim to have achieved victories against the Houthis in Yemen. These claims acquire significance as there are negotiations currently going on between the STC and the Western-backed government of Abdurrab Mansour Hadi. Differences between the two groups, which are part of the Saudi-led coalition in Yemen, had caused armed conflict between them in the city of Aden. The STC forces claim to have killed at least 115 Houthi soldiers in the recent operations and expelled their forces from 80% of the Al-Dahlia province. The current talks include a proposal to bring about the return of the Hadi government to Aden. The STC will also be made a part of the new government and their forces will be integrated with his. The STC will hand over control of the city of Aden to Saudi forces, who will supervise the creation of a neutral security force. In a related development, the UAE has started withdrawing some of its troops from Aden in anticipation of an agreement being reached between the Hadi government and the STC. That's all we have in the international section.
And with that, it's an end on this episode of the Daily Roundup. To follow these stories and many more, please log on to our website www.newsclick.in, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Thanks for watching.